Alright, so this guy just dropped this ultra long video where he exposes a bunch of big YouTubers, and today we will talk about it. Hello everyone, it's Mr. Troll delivering an update, and it has come to my attention that there exists this YouTuber who goes by the name In Praise of Shadows, and from what I can see here, he makes a bunch of videos where he talks about movies and TV series and all that, which is something I do appreciate. But his latest video, which is called Bad Conservative Horror Movies, really paints him in a bad light. Now you can tell that this video is gonna be an absolute banger because it has the word conservative in it and because it has Ben Shapiro in the thumbnail. Now in this video, this guy finally exposes YouTubers such as Wendigoon, Mutahar, and Turkey Tom. Now without further ado, let's watch the video and react to it.
Wendigoon is a horror conspiracy theorist YouTuber with several million subscribers that, as you will hopefully come to see, should not be seen as the wholesome, southern, friendly dad persona that he has publicly constructed around himself in the past several years. And that, like many people who talk about being Christians as much as he does, has a dark past with deep ties to far-right extremism. On a base level, his work has never been of personal interest to me. We share a similar focus on topics that we like to write about, but our similarities basically end there. I have no need or desire to hear 5 hours of opinions on Blood Meridian from a 21-year-old millionaire who got famous around the age of 19.
Okay, so what are his problems with a 21-year-old millionaire who got famous around the age of 19?
There was a month last year where I only made $500 in ad revenue. I can't live off that. The amount of times that I've almost had to stop making videos since then has been almost monthly. I've barely been able to keep this afloat.
Ah, he complains because he himself wished he was a 21-year-old millionaire. In other words, bro is salty because he is jealous. Now, to be fair, I wish I had the success of a 21-year-old millionaire, but guess what? It doesn't give me an excuse to flat out criticize them because they are more successful than me. But let's continue watching. Maybe this video will get more intellectually stimulating soon.
He became exceptionally wealthy by the time that he was 19 or 20. And so if you leave the home and immediately become famous and rich, without having to ever actually truly struggle, can you be considered to have ever actually had lived experience at all that would qualify you to give criticism on works of art about the experience of average and poor people?
So basically this guy says that someone who has been rich pretty much their whole life does not know what it's like to be poor and therefore cannot give an unbiased perspective on what it's like to be poor. But here's the thing. I could say the same thing about this guy, but in the opposite way. This guy has never been rich and therefore cannot give an unbiased perspective on what it's like to be rich, which is fine, but just do not criticize people for not experiencing all the different aspects of life when you have neither. As they say, he who lives in a glass house should not throw stones, or whatever the saying goes. Basically, don't be a hypocrite. Now I know I may possibly be guilty of doing this. I have made like 200 videos, so there has to be at least one occasion where I criticize someone for something I do myself. I hope I never did that, but who knows. The difference is that this video is over 2 hours long. It was supposed to apparently have an additional 15-minute segment which he cut out because he was receiving too much hate. I wonder why. The fact that throughout the entire process of filming and editing the video, there was never a point where you sat down and thought to yourself, perhaps I am no better myself than the people I criticize. But I don't know, this is only my reaction when watching this.
Not to mention the fact that Wendigoon was raised in a very wealthy family, and with that comes from a wealthy perspective. He himself has inadvertently admitted that his family at one point had millions of dollars, when he said once on stream, Would you believe me that when my dad was young, he used to be in an organized crime gang and is now a Sunday school teacher?
So you know how people nowadays have a short attention span because TikTok and YouTube Shorts ruined everyone's brains? You realize that the average viewer is not gonna sit through a video over 1 hour long, let alone over 2 hours long. You should probably shorten your video, and my piece of advice here would be to cut out this whole "this guy is so rich and privileged" rant, which takes up a significant portion of your video. When you made that whole "he never experienced what it's like to be poor because he got successful at 19" argument, people already got the point. You really have no need to drone on the same point for more than a few seconds. Just move on to more significant arguments, okay? Your viewers would thank you.
Talk about his past and supposedly being a founding member in an online conspiracy theory group that, according to him, snowballed out of control into being a white supremacist neo-Nazi organization called the Boogaloo Boys. His online username at the time was Boogaloo Boy, and he claims to be the first to have started using it, but that he left the group and became Wendigoon after things started to get out of hand. And this is not a conspiracy theory in itself. Shockingly, he literally has said so in writing. As you'll see, he was just like, "Oh geez, sorry guys, about starting a violent hate group, guys. Sorry that people got killed."
Wait, so that guy used to be like a neo-Nazi or something? I need evidence. This sounds like slander. Now I will give the guy the benefit of the doubt. Maybe this guy does provide tangible evidence that actually exposes the neo-Nazi, but I don't know that because I haven't really watched the whole video. And you know why I haven't watched the whole video? It's because my short-lived attention span lost him when he decided to ramble forever on how that guy is richer than him. Here's some advice. If you wanna expose someone, it is not a good idea to start your criticism by sounding like you're just jealous of his success. If you really feel the need to make a criticism that someone is richer than you because you're salty, save that criticism for the end of the video, when you have lost 99% of your viewer retention. That way people will get the significant portions of the video, assuming there are any.
This is all conservative doublespeak. And I hope that this is becoming obvious to you as well. In my opinion, there is a regular pattern of behavior there, from supporting Rittenhouse to having multiple ties to other far-right extremist figures, that I think a clear picture is painted that he does not mean this as a communist kind of thing, and seemingly more so means people as a very select group. Wendigoon is very publicly friends with Turkey Tom. They have been seen together on multiple occasions, and I've seen online mentions that Tom was either at his wedding or at the very least was invited. Tom has been accused of using the N-word multiple times in private conversations, including these screenshots.
He criticizes Turkey Tom because he was saying the N-word in private conversations? Seriously? Like, be honest. Haven't you done that at one point as well? I feel like a lot of us were having that phase where we were just being edgy and we would write edgy stuff, and this was just innocent trolling. It was not meant to be racist or anything. Like, I get some people can find that behavior annoying, but is this really a reason for you to criticize someone for hanging out with someone else? This makes me question if this guy ever hangs out with people or if he lives in his mom's basement, because it is just not physically possible to hang around with people where absolutely none of them ever did something like this. This is like sample picking 100 different 30-year-old women and assuming they are all virgins.
He is friends with Brandon Buckingham, a gun YouTuber.
He uses a picture with Brandon Buckingham's sick grandpa against him? This is flat out disrespectful. Call out someone as much as you want, but you should never involve their family members who have nothing to do with the situation. The fact that he just casually drops this picture of his grandpa in the hospital. Like, did you really think this would make you look like a hero? Like, what?
Has made content with the human trafficker, Andrew Tate. He is friends with Mutahar, who argued against Andrew Tate being deplatformed from social media websites, and has recently showcased a great deal of transphobia in his most recent video.
Can we go back to when the guy was wasting time complaining about how someone is richer than him? Because now he's wasting time complaining about how someone is a horrible person just because they follow other people who may have done questionable things. Like, all the stupidity aside, you should have, once again, kept this criticism to a bare minimum. Stop droning on with the same points over and over again only to unnecessarily fill up the video's length. Now, there is more to the video, but my attention span is already fried, and so is probably yours, so I will just end the video here. Bye.